What if the greatest luminaries of psychology had been revealing the true dynamics of attraction for a century, while millions of women desperately seek attention, squandering their dignity and wondering why their relationships resemble emotional battlefields? There is a small circle of women who seem to effortlessly inspire loyalty, respect, and genuine desire in men. They don't chase, they attract. They don't beg, they choose. They don't settle for less, they inspire. And the difference isn't beauty, wealth, or luck. It's a deep understanding. Drawing on Carl Jung's revolutionary ideas about the male psyche, we can identify 9 psychological patterns that govern male desire at its most primitive level. These are not manipulative tactics. These are fundamental codes that determine whether a man sees you as a fleeting infatuation, or someone he can never forget, someone who is easily replaceable, or someone who is irreplaceable. What you are about to learn will radically change your perception of yourself, relationships, and your true feminine power. It's not about changing yourself. It's about awakening the magnetic attraction you've always had, hidden beneath a layer of social conditioning. Because somewhere along the way, we forgot that feminine power is not earned through desperation, but found through conscious understanding. For decades, women have been taught to be more accessible, more accommodating, more understanding. However, those women who seem effortlessly attract and maintain deep, passionate relationships often operate on completely different principles. They understand what most women have never been taught. Genuine attraction is not created by submissiveness or accessibility, but by conscious presence and true self-worth. The 9 patterns we are about to explore are not theories from dusty psychology textbooks. They are living principles observed in the most magnetic women in history, confirmed by modern research, and proven effective in creating the deep, lasting attraction that transforms ordinary relationships into extraordinary ones. Pattern 1. The Gate of Recognition. Have you noticed how men can spend hours showing off their achievements on social media? This reveals their deep need for recognition and admiration. Whether it's biological predisposition or social conditioning, men instinctively seek constant validation. Every like, comment, or compliment activates the pleasure centers in their brains. Understanding this gives you the opportunity to consciously respond to their emotional needs. The mistake that 95% of women make is giving recognition without limits, like water from a tap. They like every photo and praise every achievement in the hope of reciprocity. Here's what they're missing. Excessive approval creates emotional oversaturation. A man's brain adapts to constant praise and no longer sees the need to make an effort to get your attention because it's guaranteed. You become predictable. And men don't truly fall in love with predictability. They are attracted to what they cannot fully control. Imagine that your approval is an exquisite dish served at the right moment. It brings incredible pleasure, but if you serve it constantly, it becomes mundane fast food. The same principle applies to emotional validation. Conscious approach. Manage the emotional experience they crave on your terms. Instead of being the first to respond to his posts, let the anticipation build. Instead of immediately praising his achievements, respond thoughtfully with "that's intriguing," and gracefully change the subject. This creates what psychologists call intermittent reinforcement, the same principle that makes certain experiences unforgettable. A sincere, "you're incredible" from you becomes more valuable than countless comments from others. The key lies in timing and authenticity. For a confident woman, this is not manipulation, but a conscious assessment. You offer recognition when it is truly deserved, making your admiration infinitely more precious. Pattern 2. The mystery principlinather pattern that works subtly beneath the surface is related to uncertainty. Predictability extinguishes passion faster than anything else. Whether it's an evolutionary program or learned behavior, a man's interest naturally wanes when he knows exactly what to expect. Your answers, your availability, your reactions. Why are men often captivated by women who seem a little out of reach? It's not masochism, it's psychological inertia. The male mind, by nature or upbringing, gravitates toward what cannot be fully predicted or controlled. Most women unconsciously create emotional monotony by making themselves too available, too quickly. They respond instantly, plan predictable meetings, and share every detail of their lives. They believe that transparency builds trust, but excessive predictability can drain romantic tension. Think about your favorite song. When heard at the right moment, it evokes a storm of emotions. But if you make it your ringtone, which sounds every 5 minutes, it will start to annoy you. Your presence in his life is subject to similar psychological laws. How to apply this wisdom? Vary the rhythm of communication. If you usually respond within a few minutes, sometimes pause for a few hours without explaining why. Practice selective candor. Don't reveal all the details of your day when he asks about your activities. You can say, "I had a very intriguing day," and then smoothly move on to another topic. These gaps allow his imagination to work in your favor. Use strategic unavailability. Occasionally be unreachable for short periods of time. When you resume contact, don't explain your absence, just warmly resume communication. The goal is balance, not the chaos of complete unpredictability or the boredom of total predictability. You need that dynamic tension between, "I know she's into me," and "I wonder what she'll do next." Pattern 3. Emotional mirror. This technique involves reflecting a man's emotional state with remarkable accuracy, creating an instant feeling that he has been truly understood. Research shows that accurately identifying someone's feelings before they express them activates deep neurological responses that release chemicals responsible for bonding. Most women, when they see a man who is upset, either ignore the situation, hoping it will resolve itself, or immediately try to solve the problem. You will do something completely different. Become his perfect emotional mirror. Instead of asking what's wrong like everyone else, observe his body language, listen to his tone of voice, and notice the tension in his facial expression. Then reflect what you perceive. "I sense that you are upset because you feel misunderstood in what you are trying to achieve." His reaction will most likely be immediate. "That's exactly right. How did you know?" Accurately naming his emotional experience creates recognition. "This woman really sees me." This feeling of being truly understood creates a deep connection. At this moment, his inner defenses crumble as he encounters pure acceptance for the first time. Rather than criticism or advice, you cease to be just a partner and become a safe space where his true feelings are not only allowed, but respected. Such a profound affirmation of his identity evokes an instinctive and powerful sense of loyalty. He subconsciously understands that this level of empathy is not available in his interactions with other people, which makes your presence unique. It is this uniqueness that transforms a fleeting attraction into a lasting emotional attachment. It's not about fixing him, but about acknowledging his experiences with such clarity that he feels truly seen. For many men, this level of emotional attunement is rare and therefore incredibly valuable. Pattern 4. Responding to fear of failure. Every man carries within him, in one form or another, the fear of not being good enough, of failing, losing, or appearing inadequate. This fear is deeply rooted in male psychology. By establishing an emotional connection through reflection, you can influence this fear with remarkable effectiveness. Instead of creating direct competition, which is amateurish, casually mention that you have interesting plans, important meetings, or intriguing invitations. If he asks for details, remain pleasantly evasive. "Oh, just work stuff," while your energy suggests something more significant. This subtle discrepancy will activate his vigilance. His mind will begin to fill in the gaps. Who will she be with? What are these matters? Am I losing her attention? This internal dialogue is not a sign of jealousy in its pure form, but rather an instinctive reaction to the potential loss of status and connection. Your social desirability and mystery indirectly increase your value in his eyes. In response, his natural impulse is to want to strengthen his position and regain your full attention. This is much more effective than open confrontation or attempts to provoke jealousy, which only activate his defense mechanisms. You don't force him to fight for you, but create conditions in which he chooses to make an effort to match you. The power lies in consistency. First, make him feel completely understood, and then introduce a slight uncertainty about your availability. It's not about creating insecurity, but about maintaining your own fulfilling life. A woman with genuine interests, commitments, and relationships outside of romance naturally creates this dynamic without effort. Pattern 5. The need for challenging admiration. Men desperately seek admiration, but not blind adoration. They want a woman who appreciates their genuine qualities, but also inspires them to grow. They need a woman who will be a refuge in moments of vulnerability, but also ignite their ambition when they become complacent. Here's what is often overlooked. In moments of doubt or failure, your reaction in the first 30 seconds can determine whether he will respect you forever or lose respect completely. Most women panic, get nervous, apologize, or desperately try to calm him down. Instead, become the absolute calm in his storm. Lower your voice, relax your body, look him straight in the eye, and with unwavering presence, say, "I see your true value." This moment does not define you. Your collected energy becomes an anchor that instantly stabilizes him. This emotional power activates something deep. This woman believes in me, even when I doubt myself. If she sees my potential, then it must exist. Your confidence becomes powerfully attractive. This attractiveness comes not from fixing him, but from demonstrating your own unshakable inner strength. He sees you not as a fragile creature dependent on his success, but as an equal partner whose self-esteem does not waver based on external circumstances. Such emotional maturity lays the foundation for respect that goes far beyond superficial sympathy. A woman who panics along with him, unconsciously communicates your failure threatens me too, which only intensifies his feelings of guilt and isolation. By becoming his rock, you are not just saving him in the moment, you are proving that you are the safe haven he can always return to. Pattern 6. Social presence and status awareness. Men are highly sensitive to social dynamics. They observe how you behave in restaurants, how you interact with service staff, and how others react to your presence. If they perceive genuine confidence, their attraction intensifies. If they sense insecurity, it naturally diminishes. It's not about pretending to be above others. It's about developing a genuine feminine presence. Let your silence carry authority, and your words carry meaning. Move with natural grace, never apologizing for the space you occupy. Those around you will instinctively read this inner harmony and begin to treat you with the respect that, in their subconscious opinion, you deserve. A truly confident woman is equally gracious to the company director and the waiter, while an insecure woman tries to assert herself at the expense of others. Men notice this difference, and for them, your even and dignified manner of communicating with everyone becomes irrefutable proof of your inner class. When he is with you, he is not afraid that you will embarrass him with your behavior. On the contrary, he feels that your presence enhances his own social standing. This is not playing to the crowd, but a natural consequence of your attitude toward yourself, which is conveyed to others. For women who have cultivated self-respect, this presence comes naturally. You are not playing at having high status. You are simply someone who values yourself for who you are. This self-assured energy makes him proud to be around you because it reflects the quality of the connection he is capable of creating. Pattern 7. Mirror of responsibility. And often make statements such as, "I value honesty above all else. Loyalty is everything to me, and I don't tolerate deception." However, like all of us, they sometimes act contrary to these stated values. Here's another pattern that works subconsciously. Keep these declarations in your memory. If his actions contradict his words, calmly and without aggression, reflect his own standards back to him. You mentioned that honesty is fundamental to you. How does that relate to what just happened? This gentle confrontation with his own contradictions creates cognitive tension that forces him to really think. His mind realizes that you are paying attention at a level that others are not, and this detailed awareness makes him feel both vulnerable and, paradoxically, more connected to you. This connection arises not from fear of being caught, but from respect for your inner compass and your insight. In this way, you position yourself not as a judge or supervisor, but as the guardian of his best self, the ideal image that he himself strives to live up to. This elevates your relationship from a simple romance to a conscious partnership where both parties strive for integrity. Most people in such a situation would either ignore the discrepancy or make a scene, but neither of these paths leads to growth. Your calm and principled stance not only makes him think about his actions, but also makes him respect you more deeply as a woman who sees through him and still stays by his side. Pattern 8. Authentic feminine energy. Live in an era where many women have lost touch with their essential feminine presence. They seem insecure, constantly seeking approval, and lacking clear personal standards. When a man meets a woman who genuinely embodies grounded feminine energy, it has a refreshing effect on him. This energy is not submissiveness or weakness. It is an elegant strength, the ability to be gentle yet firm, soft yet uncompromising, a presence that naturally communicates, "I deserve better, and I don't need to shout about it." For women who have reclaimed their authentic feminine power, this presence arises organically. You don't play at femininity. You simply are a woman who is comfortable with both her strength and her softness, with her independence and her openness to connection. Whether through cultural programming or biological predisposition, men often feel a natural attraction to this energy because it awakens their deepest masculine qualities in response. In her presence, he instinctively wants to protect rather than dominate, to provide rather than compete, to be rather than appear. This creates a healthy polarity where his masculinity finds its natural and noble expression, complementing rather than suppressing her femininity. It is in this dance of energies that the very harmony is born, that both partners subconsciously strive for in a truly deep relationship. Pattern 9. Unshakable self-worth. Perhaps the most transformative pattern is maintaining absolute self-respect. This means having non-negotiable standards and a genuine willingness to walk away from any situation, even with an exceptional man, if those standards are not met. Understanding this shift is crucial. Possessing the inner strength to walk away, knowing that you desperately do not need his approval or presence, multiplies his respect many times over. He realizes that being with you is a privilege earned by his actions, not a right assumed by his very existence. This is not a strategy or technique. It is the natural result of a woman who truly knows her worth and will not sacrifice her well-being for someone else's attention. This self-respect creates a magnetic attraction because it signals emotional health and maturity. It proves that you are choosing him from a place of abundance, not out of fear of loneliness. For a man, there is nothing more valuable than the realization that he was chosen freely and consciously, not because he was the only option or a salvation from emptiness. Paradoxically, the less you fear losing him, the more he fears losing you. The energy of need and desperation repels, while the energy of self-sufficiency and integrity attracts like a magnet. That is why this pattern is not just one of many, but the crown jewel of this entire philosophy. Without it, all other techniques lose their power. This is a turning point, the transition from unconscious cycles to conscious choice. You now understand what countless women seek their entire lives, the deep psychological patterns that transform you from pursuer to pursued, from option to priority, from fleeting to unforgettable. But understanding without application remains merely an intellectual exercise. Are you ready to grow beyond who you were taught to be and become the woman you were born to be? Because in a world where many women compete for minimal attention and accept mediocrity as their ceiling, a woman who understands her true value does not compete. She simply exists authentically, and healthy relationships are naturally drawn to her energy. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Joseph Campbell. Welcome to your true power. The world is waiting for the woman you are becoming, and a worthy man is looking for the very energy you are learning to embody. Your transformation begins. You have received the keys to understanding deep patterns, but every day is a new opportunity to apply them and hone your skills. This is a path of constant growth. Join a community where we explore conscious attractiveness together. Subscribe to Sifarize so you don't miss the next step in your evolution.